How to take pictures of water polo, revised 2023. What we will cover: gear, exposure, issues, before the meet, planning, at the meet, tips, problems, sample pictures, and other. Gear and exposure: day, outdoors. Camera, most any camera you have. Lens, 18 to 140 or 75 to 300 if you're shooting from a distance. Exposure: Mode S or TV, shutter priority, 1/1600 of a second, ISO, auto. Exposure compensation: adjust for the sun reflection on the water. More later. Night or indoors: camera with a high max ISO of 25,600 or more. Lens, 70 to 200, 2.8. Exposure: Mode S or TV, shutter priority, 1/500th of a second, ISO, auto. Issues: water polo is a late afternoon game. Avoid shooting towards the sun to avoid the reflection and glare of the sun off the water. More later. The goal can be difficult to shoot through. It is just like shooting in volleyball. You have to shoot the goal from the front, not through the net. The camera may focus on the net rather than the player, just like in volleyball. Mirrorless: try setting the camera to face detect autofocus. That will avoid the net. But there are issues with face detect, so it's not a solution that will work all the time. At other schools, access to shoot on the pool deck may be restricted. This is where you have a home field advantage at your own pool. Before the meet, do some shot planning. This is the pool at Carmont High School. Looking at the picture, the orange rectangles are the goals, which happen to be pulled up at the time of this Google Earth picture. The vertical blue line separates the water polo section from the warm-up section of the pool. The blue rectangles are where the team sits. The yellow circles are my standing position, and the green lines are my shot lines. If you notice on this picture, standing positions are on the bottom of the picture and on the left. There's no standing positions on the top or right. That is because of the sun direction. If you look at the bottom of the picture, you see the sun and the angle that the sun is coming at. If you're on the right or the top of the picture, you're pretty much shooting into the sun. And this is the problem you have when shooting towards the sun. Top left, you see all that reflection on the water? It makes it hard to get anyone in any of that disturbed water. Top right, you got a bright water and you're shooting basically a backlit person. You're shooting into their shadow and the face is dark. Bottom, we have a comparison. If you look at the bottom left, you can see the light is coming on his back. You can see the light on the top of his shoulders and the back of his head. And so his face is in the darker shadow. Compare that to the shot on the right when he is front lit. You can see how much nicer the color is on his face. What can you shoot from the pool plan? Associate each of the shooting positions to shots and pictures you want to shoot. That way you know what to go for when you're in those positions. Make a list of the shots you want to shoot. Offense, someone shooting a goal, a pass. Defense, the goalie protecting the goal, player blocking the opponent. And there are a bunch of other shots you can try. But at least you have something to go for. Logistics. A 4-game meet Girls JV, girls varsity, boys varsity, and boys JV can take up to 4 hours. So from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Standing for 4 hours on the concrete pool deck can be hard on your feet and legs. Wear good shoes. Bring snack and water. The last game will end about 7 p.m. From after school all the way to 7 p.m., how hungry are you going to be? At the meet.
Test and adjust exposure. Before the meet starts, take a test shot. If needed, adjust the exposure compensation so you can see the faces. The sunlight on the water will confuse your meter. Take another test shot. Check the exposure and repeat as needed until you get images where you can see the faces.
Things to remember. Work your plan. You made a plan, work it. Now for pictures, try to get faces. It won't always work. Goal shots will probably be of the back or side of their head. But the faces are what you want if possible because the parents will see the faces. They know their child. They don't want the back of their head. They want the face. Try to get the ball in the picture. Try to show action or potential action. Potential action is like somebody cranking back on the ball, getting ready to throw it. Try to get pictures of all the players. Don't just concentrate on a few. Don't forget the bench and coach. And finally, keep the camera dry. Tip: shoot the players during warm-up. You have a chance to get action pictures of the players who don't play as much. The shot is usually predictable. They're going through a practice, so that when they're throwing, they're probably going to be in the same place, and everybody repeating the shot. So it's easy to set up. Problem of time and distance, the action and the score. Top row, left-hand picture. She's throwing the ball into the goal. Right picture, score, but she's sunk into the water. You can just see her head. Which of these two pictures would you rather use? Probably the left-hand picture where you can see her action. The right-hand picture looks rather blah for her because all you can see is her head and she's not doing anything. Bottom left, further out. Toss to the goal. Problem here. You can see the player, the ball. Where's the goal? Goal's way on the left. If you swing to the left to catch the ball going in the goal, only thing you can get is the ball in the goal, maybe the goalie, but you don't have our player. So again, you're going back to our player and the action. Now, bottom right, more the exception than the rule. This is practically like a basketball dunk. She is so close, you can see her toss, and the ball is practically in the goal at this point. Pictures you want to go for. Goal, scoring a goal or getting ready to score the goal, and the defense of the goalie. Other shots. The offense, passing, throwing, blocking, the defense blocking, trying to block the opponent. You can see on all these, you're trying to get the face. Get a picture of the final score before they turn the scoreboard off. The reason for shooting this is because a couple weeks or a couple months later, when they're working on this page, the editor is going to ask you, what was the score of the game? And if you have this picture, you have the score. And the post-game sportsmanship handshake fist bump. Other things. Schools with a second floor around the pool try to shoot part of the game from that elevated position to get a different perspective. And a tip, Find out where the horn is and stay away from it. It is loud, and if it's close to your ears, it will hurt. Lesson learned.
The end. Please like and subscribe.